Thank you all so much for stopping by today. So before we even get started with what I'm going to share with you, what I am going to do, let me ask y'all a question. And this does not have to be garden related. It just has to be like, it could be in your home, it could be on the job. But y'all, I come out here sometimes and in my head, say all of the things that I need to get done. Sometimes I'll even write them down. Y'all, it's been like 4 days and I have not did not one. Like, do y'all do that sometimes, or am I the only one? So today, now they said it was gonna rain. I felt about 2 drops and I said, you know what, this is a great day. It's an overcast in the sky. It's not hot out here. It's pleasant. You need to get some stuff done. Now, I'm not going to do anything in the ground today because it's still like a little wet, and dealing with that clay soil, we're not going to do that today. We're going to work in the raised bed. So let me share with you what I'm going to get done. Like, I'm going to get this done so that I can keep on moving from raised bed to raised bed, because I got a lot of things that I need to plant. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Let's take a little walk over here. Y'all, if I could show you, now I'm not gonna bother them right now, like all of the bees and the pollinators that are flying on that salvia. And they do come to the snapdragon too. That's really why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just let it stay a little bit longer. But we're not gonna keep playing these games, because I started out good one day. So I started out, replacing some of the fall and winter and early spring vegetables with some tomatoes, some marigold that we started from seed. I popped some sunflowers in here, but it just stopped. I just stopped. But I am about to take all of this up right here, right now, y'all. We pulling the peas, we pulling the snapdragons, we pulling the lettuce that has gone from seed, honey. And look at this spider right here, the daddy long leg. I think that's one. We pulling all of this. Now I know that I want the tomatoes on the trellis where the peas are at. Let me get a little bit closer. I know that I want I have some pineapple tomatoes that we're going to plant right here. I'm going to pull these viola flowers up. I started more marigold from seed, so we're going to put that there. And I think what the problem is when I pull it, it'll be okay. I just have to take the first step, which is what I'm doing today. So I'm just gonna start pulling, y'all, because I do want to plant in the middle. Like, I have some dahlias that I need to get planted. Like, I have a lot of stuff, but I feel like if I go ahead and do one bed and pull it, then I will be okay with just pulling the rest, because I gotta walk over here. I gotta show y'all. Like, do y'all see all this stuff flying around right here? Then you got the bees over here, and I just feel like I'm about to get in their way just a little bit. And there are also some bees on, like, I just keep seeing them feed on the salvia. So I'm so glad that I got them. So it's like bees everywhere, but I'm gonna leave them alone. See, I get distracted too. I'm gonna leave them alone, and I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling this stuff. I gotta start pulling it. I definitely want to get this bed done before it rains again. It probably ain't gonna rain no more today, but let me go ahead and let me just wipe this out, and then that way I could be like, okay, I've gotten motivated. Let me go ahead and get to the rest. So this is full, and this is what we're left with. But again, as I was pulling, I was just really thankful. Like, these raised beds have provided us with a whole bunch of stuff over the fall, the winter, and the spring. Because if you're just joining our channel, we haven't been here quite a year yet, and so I started out with the raised beds, and then I felt like I had put everything I could in the raised bed, so then I started growing in ground, and then we got these raised beds over here. But now I am going to I was sitting looking out the window. I am going to figure out what I'm going to put in here. I know that I want some dahlias in the middle. I am going to put the pineapple tomatoes up here, but I got a few peppers that I want to add, and I'm so glad that I was careful because I almost pulled this salvia up and it had been hiding under there. So I'm going to go ahead and just start looking at the plants, and then just let them tell me where they want to be planted. Again, y'all look at this. This is why I'm putting diatomaceous earth up here. We've been having such a problem with these freaking snails. Like, oh, they were all in here. I see two right now, one right here. So I guess I've unmasked their place. And oftentimes this is what is eating a lot of our plants. So now we do have some peel bugs too. I call them roly-polies, but I am going to straight up, as soon as I put my plants in, we're sprinkling this with diatomaceous earth. I'm pausing because it's getting darker, and I did hear a little thunder earlier, but I'll just have to reapply because they're getting to the point where they're starting to get just a tad bit disrespectful, and they're taking out and eating a lot of our plants. So that's going to go down. I was just doing a walkthrough once again, and I was telling Chris, okay, enough with the bud worms as well. We about to get, like, we're really about to get tough on them because they have all of these leaves back here from these trees. Go somewhere else, not in my garden. But let me go ahead, get everything laid out as much as possible, and then we'll talk about what we're going to plant. Okay, so if you can hear, it is raining just a little bit. I was acting bad at first, like with the 3 drops. I was like, I'm not going inside. I'm gonna stay out here. And then the rain got to feeling pretty good, and now it's coming down a little bit heavier. And y'all know what I say, we can't be getting sick in the rain. But we have 2 more things to plant on the back side, and then we'll pull it all together. Okay, so before I cover everything back up and put the diatomaceous earth on, I want to share with you what I've planted once I put the straw mulch back on and water this in really good, because it rained, y'all, for about 7 minutes. It did, but not enough to saturate what I just planted in really well. But we will be using this diatomaceous earth. So this is what I use when I have slug problems, or when I have worm problems. I sprinkle it around the soil, and I'm definitely going to do that for the marigolds because we started these from seed, and y'all see how small it is. Like a snail or some type of slug or worm, they'll take that out overnight. So I'm going to put quite a bit around these, and hopefully they won't bother them, and they can be able to get big enough to where they can kind of defend themselves. So we'll make sure that we do that. Then I put the pineapple tomatoes. We went ahead and put some clips on. These are the indeterminate, so I'm just going to train them up just like I did the ones on the other side. Now this is a determinate tomato right here that I planted. I was going to plant another tomato, but it was one that I wasn't familiar with, and the labels on these tomatoes, it just tells you what it is. Like, you really have to go and make sure and see if they're determinate or indeterminate, because if they're indeterminate, that means that sometimes, y'all, they could get like 6 to 10 feet tall. Most of your determinate, they'll probably get between 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 feet tall. But most of these will, most of these in the bed are determinate, except the ones I have on the trellis. I went ahead and planted some peppers. So this is like the regular bell peppers. I think these turn red. We have the, let me walk around here so that y'all can see before we cover everything up. This is, and I made sure I put my labels in here. the giant Marconi pepper, and then this is the Mad Hatter, but this is not the hot one. This, now the label did say it was like a cool one, because y'all know me and hot, we don't quite get along. I do a little bit of cayenne pepper like in my juices, but that's about as far as I go. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little. So these tomatoes right here have been growing, as I showed you earlier, and some are starting to get red. So I put some of the, let me see if I remember the name, Twinings, Smarty Twinings, or Twining Smarty Dahlia. We put these in the middle. They're going to get about 3 feet maybe, so they'll kind of maybe be a little bit taller than these peppers, but I thought that these were cool. If you're not subscribed, make sure you tap the subscribe button, because the way the petals are really neat, and so I want to see how that looks. Now on the package it looked like a deep pink, but then when I looked it up online, some of them were like a dark red burgundy, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, regardless, y'all, it's going to be colorful in this one. But I'm so excited because I can seriously say that I'm done. So I got a little bit more straw mulch that I'm going to put on here. I'm going to water everything in good. I'm going to water everything in good, and then I'll put this diatomaceous earth on, because, you know, I was walking by looking at some other plants. Like, I'm really going to have to get on it. And I've shared with y'all before, sometimes the summer months can get a little bit frustrating with pests, but you just have to stay on top of it. And one of the ways that I stay on top of it is by just doing a daily walk, seeing what's going on and trying to take care of it before it gets too bad.